Howdy folks, I'm Cooperative Coperniceum, completely copying composed copper cups.
I'm Amber.
And here are more copper cups for us to copy, because apparently we just don't have our own designs for copper cups. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Sending My Future Sister-in-Law to my future mother-in-law's place after she refused to pay for the wedding cake samples that she and her friends ate? I'm a 27-year-old female, and my fiance Leo, a 27-year-old male, decided to let my future sister-in-law Maya, a 32-year-old female, stay at our house because she needed some space from her husband due to some relationship struggles that they're having. Leo and I have gotten wedding cake samples from an expensive bakery specializing in wedding cakes. We plan to test them along with Maya after we finished up some other wedding plans yesterday. However, when I came home, I saw Leo yelling at Maya. The box of samples was wide open and on the living room table, and Maya was arguing with him. I asked what was happening, and Leo angrily told me that while we were both at work, Maya had some friends over, and they ended up eating almost all of our cake samples. I was shocked, and I asked Maya why she would do something like this. Maya said that she needed a pick-me-up from what was happening in her life, and invited some friends over to comfort her, which turned into them eating the cake samples after one of her friends noticed the box on our kitchen counter. My shock turned to anger, and Maya tried to defend herself by saying it was just cake. I told her that if it was just cake, that she would have no problem replacing him. Maya refused because the price was way too expensive for something that tasted bad anyways. Leo backed me up on having Maya pay for it, and we argued until I said that if Maya can't cough up the money, then she's going to need to stay at future mother-in-law's house because there was no way I was having someone so disrespectful in my house. Maya thought that I was bluffing until Leo repeated my sentiment, and she went to go pack her things in a huff. When she came back out, I handed her some cash for gas and told her to get out. Presumably, after Maya got to my mom's house, my future mother-in-law called me to scold me about kicking Maya out, and that I was cruel to do that to her in her time of need. Also, my future mother-in-law was irritated that I sent Maya to her, since she had let Maya into the liquor cabinet and ended up drinking some expensive whiskey that belonged to my future father-in-law, so now they're arguing about that. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. I mean, sister-in-law took something that wasn't hers, that there's no way she didn't know the purpose that this was for.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like just a regular leftover piece of cake sitting in the fridge that there would be like reasonable doubt about who this belongs to.
Yeah. It seems like she just has really sticky fingers.
Yeah, it seems like there aren't a lot of consequences for her actions. Like, her mom has called her a lot, and she's used to just kind of getting away with whatever she wants.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. It seems like she doesn't have any sense of consequence for her actions, and it doesn't seem like her mother is a big fan of her either, so...
Well, it seems like the mom just doesn't want to deal with her. Like, she coddles her, but also then gets upset when that backfires and she has to deal with the consequences.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think that Maya, she has some major issues right now, and I think that she should probably seek some counseling, but I think that OP and their husband are well within the right to ask for compensation for these
Mm-hmm.
cake samples. Cake samples aren't going to do them any good with picking out a cake sample if they're not around, if they've been eaten.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's exactly it. And like, I understand that Maya is having a rough go of it, but that doesn't excuse doing whatever you want. Like, there's not some unspoken rule that if you are going through a rough patch in your marriage, you can go into your family's house and eat all their food and drink all their alcohol.
Mm-hmm. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Punishing My 16-year-old stepdaughter after we found out that she was bullying a kid for being poor? I read it about 2 months ago. My wife, a 38-year-old female, and I, a 41-year-old male, learned that my stepdaughter, a 16-year-old female, was bullying a girl in school over being poor, getting free lunches at school, and not being able to afford the necessities, such as her own car and stuff. Our daughter was kind of spoiled. We provided her with everything that she needed, along with an allowance, a part-time job at my company, a small family service business. We've been considered middle class, doing other things that were considered privileged to do, such as buying our daughter a car on her 16th birthday. I came from a family of immigrants and was considered in poverty growing up. After learning about the bullying, I was furious, as we thought that we didn't raise her to behave this way. She was in honors and top ranking of her class. I tried to talk to our daughter over why she would do something like that, and I was disturbed to learn that it was because she viewed the girl as trailer trash, which irritated me. The girl, from what I learned, is very smart and works hard. She bought her own beater car by herself and works 2 jobs. My daughter considered the money our family had as our own family's money. So I put her in her place and told her that it was not her money, but her mom's money and my money. I decided from that point that I was spoiling my daughter too much. We ended up taking away her latest iPhone and replacing it with my old phone, iPhone 8, switching phones with me, with talk and text plan. We took away her family credit card, her car, sold her car, along with her MacBook and other luxuries. I told her that she should work to find a job without nepotism and work a minimum wage job like everyone else her age, because I'm done giving her handouts if she's going to act like this. Fast forward 2 months later, she is working at a fast food restaurant with us driving her around. She doesn't talk to me unless she needs something like a ride, but is very upset with me. My wife feels like I'm taking this too far because it's affecting her social status and her grades at school. And I, however, feel that she needs to be humbled because I can't have a daughter who will disrespect people just because of the amount of money they have. I also feel that her behavior is this way and will affect her younger sister and how she perceives the world. Am I the jerk for punishing my 16-year-old stepdaughter after we found out she was bullying a kid for being poor? Edit, I would like to add that we took away her MacBook, but she still has access to the family computer in the house. Windows computer for school that is powerful and recently new. She will still have Wi-Fi access at the house. However, we did throttle her speed because high-speed internet is a privilege. She has fast enough internet to do homework and watch videos that aren't HD like Netflix and stuff. She also isn't failing. She went from straight A's to mostly B's and 2 A's, which I still find great. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's important that the daughter learns a lesson, and I'm not sure where to draw that line.
Yeah, that one's difficult. That is difficult.
Because, like, where the grades are slipping, that could affect college admissions, but at the same time, the girl from a poorer background has to work 2 jobs anyway, and, like, her grades are probably suffering as a result.
Well, the thing is that she doesn't have to have a car or have other luxuries. She's choosing to work and to gain the money to have those luxuries as a choice. And I think that taking away electronics is perfectly acceptable. Maybe it's just that she's not able to go on the same shopping sprees that she once was with her friends. And I certainly think that she does need to learn a lesson about money, and whether or not if you have money or not doesn't make you less of a valuable human being.
Yeah, well, and that is the important thing. And again, like, a lot of the things that we're taking away from the daughter make perfect sense. Like, she doesn't need a fancy car. She doesn't need a car, period, at that age, since she has parents who will transport her. I think Opie has the right idea, and I don't know what the extent is here, so...
Yeah, I don't know what the extent is either. I mean, I think the important thing is that she learn a lesson, right? Learn consequences. And I don't know where you stop or end that at, right? And that's the really tricky thing. I think that it sounds like it doesn't necessarily fix the bullying issue at school, right? It still sounds like if OP's daughter is now being bullied for being poor, it kind of shows that the other students are not very good either, right?
Yeah, well, and that, like, anyone who would bully you if your financial circumstances change is not a good friend anyway, and not someone worth spending your time with. I'm wondering how her hours have shifted. Like, that's the one thing that doesn't necessarily add up for me, is because she was working at her father's business before, and now she's working fast food, so is she pulling longer hours to make more money, or, like...
It just might be that there's less downtime at the fast food restaurant. She might have had more downtime at the work and been able to do homework in between things. Whereas, how are you going to do homework between shifts in McDonald's?
That's very true.
Maybe there's a way of doing it. I'm not saying that that's a hard or fast rule, but maybe she just doesn't have that ability to switch gears that quickly. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea or coffee right here. It's not tea. And Amber, she has a joke.
I have tea also, but mine is real tea and not coffee. Did you hear the joke about the 500-foot monster?
I did hear the joke about the 500-foot monster. It was something like they stepped on the watch and it was time to get a new watch.
Never mind, it's over your head.
And I have coffee. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Saturday. I hope your special Saturday is going well. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it in 6 words or less.
Don't let them eat cake.
Don't let them eat cake. That's some good advice. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.